Welcome to Do the Talk podcast. In this podcast, we teach regular people like you how to invest in real estate. I am your host, Ibrahim Ojerinde, and my co host is Amel Lawal. We've been always saying this real estate business, it is not a get rich quick scheme. I repeat, it is not a get rich quick scheme. You have to put in the work, keep learning, and put in the work. With time, things will fall in line. Today we would like it to be interactive session. So please, put in the comment, give us ask your questions, and we'll try to answer as much as we can. Ahmed, what do we have today, and how are you doing?
I am doing great, and yeah, it's been a great day so far. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Really, it's 2024, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like yesterday, 2023 has gone. Now it's 2024. So, guys, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. I mean, it's just a blessing to have you guys, joining us every Friday. We always want you to benefit from this. That is why we are asking if you have any question, or maybe there's something that you don't understand, or something that we explain that you want us to clarify more. Please drop it in the comments section. If you're watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, any platform you're watching us from, drop it in the comment section and we are going to get to it. The topic today is really something that it's more of the obstacles, major ones that people run into and that can prevent you, our audience, from investing this year. We don't want that. So 2024 is here. We want everybody to be successful. So that is why we make this our first topic of the year. So if you have something that you have question about real estate, about investment generally, stay tuned and make sure you drop those questions in the comment box so that we can get them and we can answer them live here. This is the benefit of doing it live. Ibrahim, what are the things that you think, you know, or you've seen in your area of specialty that always hold people back when it comes to real estate investing?
Thank you for that question. It is a very interesting and great question because we need to talk about. I'm glad we want to treat this, as the first topic of the year, because when we put this out there, I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from this. We do, it's one thing to be doing something and without seeing someone or having someone who has your best interest in mind calling you to order, or and you just keep doing it compared to when people really educate you. It's not like whatever we want to say today, they've heard it before. People know about this. But when you see someone who cares about you keep repeating this, all these factors that might prevent you from buying or moving forward, that might be a obstacle that will prevent you from achieving your financial freedom. Um, it will make a huge difference because then you'll be motivated and you will probably exceed beyond your expectation just because you are following and you are listening to people who have done it and or are doing it. So today I want to share some things that I believe are part of the problem. Of course, I don't know everything all about, everyone is different, but I'm going to generalize about what I think is causing this problem for majority of people. One of it is the assumption that you need a huge sum of money to acquire real estate. The reason why I call it assumption, or I should say perception, the reason why I say that is that on the one note, one hand, that person is right because you might need big money depending on what you are trying to do. On the other hand, you don't need a huge amount of money to get into real estate. So it just depends on the strategy, the kind of effort, the kind of time, the kind of commitment, the kind of discipline you are ready to apply into the real estate investment that will determine how much it will cost you. And by the way, your hours and everything, the discipline, everything, I'm not saying it's $0 because in fact, when you look at those time and everything, it may be more, it may have more value than just the currency, the dollars. You know what I mean? Because the time you
Absolutely.
put into it, the effort and everything, sometimes it will yield something significant, something enormous, more than you just purchasing with $100,000 or $200,000. Anyway, back to my point. My point is that people have this perception that it is expensive to get into real estate. That is one of the big problems because there are ways around it. It will just take more commitment, connection, networking with people, be updated, be 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 connected in your neighborhood. Make sure you are participating in events or activity that is going on in that area. Get updated. Those are when you add all those up and you are able to put in those efforts, you don't need huge amount of money to get into real estate. Do you have time to make calls? Do you have time to send letters to people? Do you have time to connect? All that will determine how much you need. Now, the second one is lack of motivation. It's still they all kind of connect. So lack of motivation might prevent you from being disciplined, from being committed, from being that person that that will go out there and get his or her goals. So lack of motivation is part of the problem. Procrastination is still they all kind of work together. When you don't have motivation, you tend to procrastinate a lot. So procrastination is part of the problem. Um, Fear of the unknown. I mean, this is the this is the biggest one because you would if you have the fear that this is gonna happen for the business. If I try this business, something's gonna happen. Then how can you grow? I mean, there's always a risk. Every business will always be cloudy from the beginning. You have to get into it, and the more you dive into the business and apply all the business principles and discipline and everything, things will get clearer and clearer. So I'm just gonna end it down with with five. With the last one is fear of criticism. Because if you can deal with all these five that I just mentioned, you'll be fine. So the last one is fear of criticism. We don't want to be criticized. We don't want people to feel like, okay, after I started this business, the business crashed after 1 year or 2 years, or I barely make money from this business. We feel like people are looking at us, people are judging us, you know. And by the way, people might be looking at you, but if you understand the risk that you are taking by even focusing on people or even thinking about people opinion concerning your business or your ability to grow, believe me, you are doing a disservice to yourself and your family because it will definitely affect your ability to achieve that financial freedom that you know you and your family are striving for or planning to achieve. So my point here is you have to be determined. You have to let go any kind of criticism. Don't even worry about it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So, Ahmed, I would like to I would like to take a break, and I want you to give us some, some of the factors, some of the things you believe are the problem people are facing at this moment, or what will prevent people from achieving their financial freedom. Then I can come back and add to what I just, or
Yeah.
more on my point.
So you actually hit it on the head. So a lot of this perception, misconception about real estate, about you need a lot of money before you can go into real estate. It's not totally wrong,
Hmm.
but depend on individual situation, like you discussed. So it is a huge thing that a lot of people don't know. Uh, we have been conditioned to believe that buying real estate is for the rich,
Yeah.
right? So everybody else is kind of staring at it, looking at it, admiring it, but not taking any action.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of buttressing your point that that is a huge one. It is really something that we need to keep discussing day in, day out for people to understand that there are many ways you can go into purchase real estate with little or no money. Having said that, I want to. So one of the beautiful things about human being is that by saying we want to do something without the how, without knowing how, it's on its own powerful enough for us to get that thing done. So when it comes to real estate, a lot of people want to know the step one to the last step before they take the first step. I don't know how
I'm getting
if
you. I'm
if
following you.
yeah,
I'm following
if
you.
that
That's a good
statement
point.
really make any sense.
It makes sense.
So it's
It makes
just
sense.
like you put your address on GPS going to Maryland from Indianapolis, and you are saying if you don't have the view of all the streets, all the turns, all the lights you're going to take before you get to Maryland, you are not going to get out of your house. That is pretty impossible, right? You need
Yeah.
to actually take the first turn from your house. Then you might see a car coming, pass the car, you know, get to the stop sign, stop, turn right, turn left, get to the. So it's you can't see the future. That is basically what I'm saying. But if that desire is there, if you have enough desire, you will look for how. There will be a way. You will create a way. I don't know, but no, I don't even want to say I don't know. I do know, honestly. Ibrahim, every deal you've done
Hmm.
are different.
Yeah.
Every deals that you've done. And one good thing about real estate is it teaches you how not to make assumptions, because that will cloud your judgment, that will cloud the way you approach things, and you may not be able to find the real why behind why the seller or the buyer are doing what they are doing, which is want to know so that you can provide good service. So you can't know everything. That is my point. So sitting down, consuming content, reading books without actually taking action, it's not going to help anything. You can't know every step of the way. When you get to that bridge, you will find a way, definitely. So one of the big one for me is people trying to learn everything before they take any step.
Yeah.
It is not possible. Just like many of us get a job that we don't know everything about. We are being paid thousands of dollars to stay at that job, but we because of that money, subconsciously we find a way to make ourselves relevant to our employer by learning, continuous learning, continuous learning, continuous learning. We somehow, when it comes to real estate, That just disappeared. People think I need to figure it out before I even start. No, you cannot. Because even the most seasoned investor understand that every deal is going to be different. So even if you buy your first house, the second house is not going to be the same thing. You will face a new challenge that you will have to overcome for you to be able to close on that house. So thinking that you will know everything is honestly not a good thing as a real estate investor or someone that aspires to be one. You need to just start. That is basically it. Just start and ask questions. Ibrahim always say this: ask a lot of questions. That is just it. I mean, you cannot. There's no way you can know everything. So just start, and every other thing will come as you go. So, that one. So the second one is actually this almost the same as the first. When you start, that will activate every mechanism that you need to accomplish your mission. So a great example of that is, let's say a baby is like crawling around and he or she spotted something at the high place that it wanted. Babies, the way they are programmed is they don't fear anything. They move towards that thing. Even they don't even think of how they are going to achieve it. And somehow, we adults nearby, when we realize what they are trying to do, we always come through and help them achieve their goal. See how that works. Even though that baby doesn't know how they're going to get to it, just the desire that they want that thing activate the mechanism of the adults around, and that help them to achieve their goal. What I'm trying to point out with that is you cannot be fearing of unknown. Ibrahim already mentioned this. You can't. Because you don't know, now you are so scared that you don't want to do it. Immediately you make a move towards achieving that goal, learning more, educating yourself, stuff like that. You are activating mechanism, getting in the room of people doing it, asking questions. Those people, one good thing about successful guys and the people that are willing to be successful also is they are willing to help anybody that are on the same path, on the same journey. Once you get in the room, they will tell you what they are doing, because now they are happy that they are not maybe in their house or somewhere that they live. They look like an outlier. They cannot even express what they are feeling in their head, because the things that they are experiencing, the feelings that they have, only few people can connect with them. Not everybody is willing to go on the journey of financial freedom, unfortunately. Everybody say they want it, but want will not change anything. You need to be willing, you need to have that burning desire inside you and go for it, because nobody's going to give you anything. So, not to deviate from my point, the fear of unknown is just in between you and your real estate success. You buying the first house, second renter, third renter, and canting right. So you need to be able to go over that, overcome that, get in the room, educate yourself, move towards achieving it, and that will activate the mechanism. What mechanism? You are reading the book already, so you are educating yourself towards achieving it. The other people, when you go to networking events, you connect with people, you talk to people, you ask questions. Those people will help you. And when you want things, I always ask, how bad do you want it? Because that will also determine if you are going to get it or not. If you want something really, really bad, you're gonna do anything to get it. I'm not saying do anything like breaking laws. I'm saying something legal to get it done. So having the mindset of, oh, I need 100,000 to buy real estate. No, you just need to ask the right question. You just need to be like, hey, how can I go about it if I have 5,000 and I want to buy real estate? How can I approach it if I have 10,000? What can I do with it? Let's say I get my tax return in February, March, April. What can I do with that 10,000, 8,000, 7,000 this year to be able to move myself closer to getting my first rental property? Those are the questions you need to be asking. If you are not asking those questions, believe me, it's just going to be the same. You just the fear that you have 2023 is going to follow you to 2024, and you're going to have the same fear for the rest of this year. So basically, you need to overcome your fear by trying to educate yourself. Get in the room with the people that are actually investing in real estate. Ask questions. They are willing to do. Just Google it. I'm not saying ask me. I'm not saying Ibrahim. Ask Ibrahim. Of course, if you ask us, we are willing to answer. That is why we even created this podcast in the first place, right? But you can just go to Google and Google something like real estate investment meetup near me. You will see the list of meetup like-minded people that are meeting up, discussing their investment strategies and stuff like that. How you can go about things and resolving issues in real estate. Those are the ways to answer your unknown question. You cannot just sit around and think naturally things are going to happen to you. Nothing is going to happen naturally. God willing. I'm not saying I believe in what's it called? Destiny. So things happens, right? But you still need to put forth some effort. You don't just expect things just gonna happen just like that without putting forth some effort. You don't get a job as a physician at the hospital just because you are destined to be a physician. You went to school, med school, right? You don't just get a job as a nurse. You go to school of nursing. You don't just get a job as anything except you are qualified for that particular profession. So the same way, if you approach real estate the same way by learning about it, by getting in the room of people that are doing it, definitely there will be you will have breakthrough. And regardless of what your situations are, I would say 2023 was my lowest ever. And guess what? I was able to buy a duplex. That is how, if you push the buttons, if you do the right things, magic happens. But only when you take action, only when you try to overcome your fears. So, I want to pause a little bit, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
What are ways that people can overcome this fear, overcome these objections, overcome this perception that they already carry? How do you think they can break out of that? Is there any way at all?
Yeah, there are ways. I'm gonna try to make it practical as much as possible. So, let's say, you know, person A has been interested in real estate for so long, and is, all these factors that you just mentioned that might be an obstacle have been the obstacles for this person. Now, this person is ready to break all these obstacles. What I will advise that person to do is to, first of all, the year just started. So the person can go back to YouTube, of course, come to do the top podcast, try to get the basic. Because it's one thing to think about, oh, I want to buy real estate. It's another thing to have the basic knowledge. After you grab the basic, I'm not saying you have to know everything, just the basic. The next thing is to reach out to people that are doing it. Because conversation gets more interesting when you know the basic. Oh, Ahmed, I'm trying to buy property. I know that I might need a property manager. I know that you manage property. What strategy do you think I can use? I know there are 3 or 4 different strategies. Which one do you think will work for me? You make Ahmed feel like, okay, the person I'm talking to is knowledgeable. Ahmed will be able to share more knowledge, or share, like, or give you more detail, like the strategy that you know, because you know the basic, you don't know the detail. You don't know from A to Z in that strategy, but you will be able to add more to your knowledge just because you have showed, you demonstrated that you have some knowledge about that strategy, or you've learned some stuff about real estate in general. It makes the conversation sweeter and more, you guys will get to the destination quicker just because you have that person A has done a little research. Of course, I recommend credible research, not just any random you know lesson from anywhere. Make sure you get. That was why I said watch you the top podcast, and like Bigger Pocket and all those credible real estate videos and all that. So now let me go back to my point. When you have those knowledge, like I said, basic, that's all you need. Then you talk to people that are doing it. Talk to Ahmed, talk to me, talk to other investors that you know around. Hey, guys, I am this, I am that. I want to start real estate investment. I don't know how to start. I have so thousand, or I don't have any thousand, but this is my plan. How do you think I can get it done? What do you think, in your own experience, what do you think I can do? Now, when you tell that person, the person will tell you, okay, you don't have any money. Yes, you can still do it, but it will take your time. It will take your, like, you have to be disciplined. You have to be able to, don't be shy. You have to be committed. You have to call so people. You have to send letter to so people, or you have to approach so people. By the time you give that time and do those stuff, follow those professional advice, there's a high chance you will get property in 2024. Now, grabbing the property is one thing. The other stuff is how to maintain, manage, and run the business. That's another side. But we're gonna start from one by one. Like I'm starting. This is just the beginning. So when you go to the next one, which is now, Ahmed or Ibrahim, I got the property. What do you think I can do? Or, I mean, of course, you've made your research. You know you want to do maybe middle-term renting or long-term lease, whatever. But now you need to know more. You want to get more. You want to acquire more knowledge in that particular strategy. Then you can ask people that are doing it. But mind you, because you ask me or you ask Ahmed does not mean you won't make a mistake, or you won't face any kind of challenge in the future. No. The reason why what you benefit from asking me or someone else is that there are some error that you don't have to, it doesn't have to happen to you again, because it has happened to me or happened to Ahmed or someone else. So now you can skip that, or you are able to save money just because I advised you not to use these materials because this material is bad, or don't use social contractor just because it's doing a great job, however it's over expensive, versus the other guy that is doing a great job as well, but his job is more affordable. So I save you money. All that stuff, those are the things you benefit from someone who has been doing that business or that venture that you are trying to get into. So my point is, you do it step by step. After you acquire the property, you get more details about how to run it. Or better yet, if you don't have time because you do 9 to 5, you can give it to a property manager. That person will manage it for you. Do your numbers. Make sure you still getting the cash flow and the maintenance fee, everything, all that is settled, and you are still getting cash flow. Why not give it to a property manager? Now you have time for your other gig, and that other gig, you might use it to raise money. In addition to the cash flow, you're gonna get another property. Or if you want to go back to your initial strategy, which is to do it with less or zero down financing, you can do that as long as you dedicate and create that time, that discipline that you need that will help you to acquire the second one. And mind you, the first one is the hardest. When you get to the second one, I'm not saying it won't be hard, but at least you have some skills, you have some knowledge. Now you know some things that will help you to navigate the second one. or you've known people, you've met people in the process of getting the first one, you've met some people, and those people will guide you on the second one. Amen mentioned that this year was, yeah, I mean last year, sorry. Last year was crazy. Yeah, it was for real. Last year was crazy for everybody. I tell you what, the interest rate went up and the purchasing power of everyone went down. When I say everyone, I'm talking about even the big ballers, like the billionaires. Whatever the billionaire can get as a loan in 2022, I bet you it was higher than what they could get in 2023 because it's by rate. They look at your income, even though they are billionaire. Trust me, they have income, they have debt, they still look at their ratio and everything. The reason why we don't get to see all that or it doesn't affect them much is because they have enough, like enough that they don't have to even discuss that. But as long as you are getting a mortgage or a loan or anything, they still kind of factor paying your ability to pay back the debt. So if someone is making like $1 million a year, 2022, the amount of money you can borrow from the bank or from mortgage company or financial institution, it was way higher 2022 versus 2023 because the rate went up. Now, besides that, the economy, like the inflation, the gas price, everything, the people that are in the short-term investment like me, I do short-term, like Vrbo, Airbnb, Booking.com and all that. We saw a drastic decrease in bookings, drastic one. So am I still doing it? Yeah. Why am I still in it? It's because you don't quit just because you see a slide in your business or no. What you need to do is to find a way to enhance or stay afloat in that business. Every business has its own up and down. Okay, just like stock market, bonds, and all that. What am I doing now to keep my business running? I am. I started exploring other kind of strategies. We told you guys that there are a lot of strategies in real estate. So, and the major ones is this long, short, and the midterm. Now, inside all those three, there are still different angle to it. So anyway, I am doing what will keep my business profitable, and I am benefiting from it now. Back to my point. How can you stop procrastinating? How can you stop? How can you get motivated? You have to go closer to people that are doing it. Talk to them. Let them show you what they are doing. Because from far, like Ahmed said, you cannot see Miami from Indiana. It's not possible. You have to take a step, at least get to Chicago first before even thinking about because even Chicago, before you get to Chicago, it takes some hours when you're driving.
You will cross a lot of rivers. You will hit stoplight. You will take turns and stuff like that. So it's not straightforward.
Yeah, get to Chicago first, at least. So you have to first, before you start it, you've made your research, you've watched the basic, you know that okay, this business is a potential in this. This is a it is not a get rich quick scheme. We've always been saying this, but this is the one of the most steady, most reliable investments you can do in the entire world. So just like when I mentioned that we saw a drastic decline in booking, and that does not mean that I lost money. No, that does not mean that my business wasn't profitable. No, what happened was the cash flow went down. Maybe if I was cash flowing 2 grand before, now it's like maybe $900. Okay, is that still profit? Yes, because I've paid all my bills. I still make money. You know, so but with me doing another strategy now, am I gonna get more profitable? Yeah, of course. Will it take some more discipline, more effort, more connection, more strategies, more Marketing, yes, that's all. It's all about business. That's investment. You have to be active. You have to be participating in your business. You don't have to run it yourself, but you have to know. You have to be updated. You have to know what is going on in your business. How can you stop procrastinating? Well, how you can stop it is to keep reminding yourself. You might want to write something, like write your goals, write it out somewhere. Every day you are able to see your goals. Put it somewhere that is open and transparent, where people can see your agenda, what you plan to do in 2024. You don't want to keep, your goal in the secret, just because there's a high chances you might not achieve that if you're not disciplined enough. Why don't you help yourself? Put it somewhere it's easy for you to see. And, every day when you wake up, take a look at it, see, okay, what is the goal for that day? Maybe you want to learn some skills, you want to talk to some people, you want to reach out to some people. Do that those days. I mean, all the days that you have written out. If you want to do that for 1 week, do it. 2 weeks, go to the next one. And when people tell you something like, okay, oh, this business is good or that business is good, but you have to do this. No, but sometimes it might be this, it might be that. Those sometimes, don't let it scare you away, because every business will always have the sometimes, or how, So all you have to do is to measure that risk of that sometimes. Look at that risk. Look at the benefit. As long as the benefit outweighs the risk, forget about that risk. Go for it. The worst case scenario is you try it, you failed. That's it. But guess what? When you fail and you bounce back, trust me, you are stronger than more than anything else, because you have learned from that error that you made. Like you seen the obstacle took you down, and you bounced back just because you are strong, you are bold, you are courageous. Now you have that resilience to come back, because not everybody will come back. But the fact that you've made that error, and you analyze your mistake, and you are back on it, there's a high chance you will succeed in that business. Fear of the unknown. Well, that's a big one. To I don't think there's any better way to explain that than just trust your gut. Make your research. When someone tell you this is what he or she is doing, is making this or that from it, and you like that business, go for it. Anything, if something happens, yeah, it happens. I mean, you cannot let the fear of the unknown to tie you down, and you can achieve. In fact, some investors or some economists will tell you, if you let the risk you are taking for not taking action is actually bigger than the risk you will encounter while you take that action. So it's like you just shut down all the potential of you becoming this, becoming that, just because you are afraid. You couldn't see the front, or you couldn't see what's going to happen in the future. Of course, nobody will see the future. Only God can see what's going to happen in the future. All you have to do is to manage the risk, follow the process, and make sure you are you are keeping everything in track. That way your business doesn't derail into the ditch or something. The last one, fear of criticism. Yeah, that one is common. I mean, who cares about somebody think your business is this or that, or why you or you are not doing your business right, or this or that. Okay, as long as you are connected with people that are doing well in that business, there's a high chance you won't even fail in that business. As long as you listen to them, connect with them, they are your mentor, you are following their steps. I'm not saying you shouldn't be creative. That's not the point. You can be creative and also be a mentee. Just get their advice. It's like you're stealing knowledge from them. You are tapping into their knowledge skills and you are using it to enhance your own skills. By the time you do that for a couple of years, or your business will expand tremendously. Like you won't believe it how everything will change, and in your financial freedom that you are striving to achieve, it will come in no time. So do not be afraid. You have to go for it. Ahmed, this it is a mindset topic. Of course, we've talked about this before. It's hard to how do we explain this better than this? Like, how do we let people to understand that you just have to take this risk, because without taking risk, you cannot go far in life. Like, everything involves risk. You go to medical school, you go to nursing school, you go to that. It's all risk, because some people have to take a debt. I mean, get a loan, and they are in debt. They have to go to school. If they don't pass, they get expelled or dismissed from school. Now you have to. The government doesn't care, or the financial institution doesn't care if because you didn't pass or you didn't get a certificate. That's not their problem. A loan is a loan. You have to pay back. That's a risk as well. So, and if you can take that kind of risk, you went to school, you are owing so debt. Unfortunately, you went for a course that that the demand is so low, and you couldn't get a kind of job that you strive to get, or you hope to get. You are in debt, but you are not afraid to do that. But now, to better your life, like practically get into a business, now you are afraid. So I think we need to get, also, priority matters. I mean, I said that because I've seen people taking different kind of risk. They might not, I don't know if they understand those are risk as well. They are taking that kind of risk, but when it comes to doing a business, which is also a risk, but that has a potential to change your life, then people start like, oh no, I don't wanna, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna, so you see what I'm saying? So my point is, how can people build that strong mindset, that educated, informed mindset? That way they can approach or encounter these obstacles.
That is a very great question and a tough one
Very
to
tough.
explain.
Very tough.
Um, the so there's this saying that if you and are looking at six, what look like six to me might look like nine to you.
Mm-hmm.
So why I say that is you and I and some people out there. I mean, if you've been listening to Do the Talk podcast, that means you are interested in investing in real estate. I've seen the power of real estate.
Yeah.
So that is why we are so passionate and try to, get the message out for others. The easiest way to explain to anybody is, you know what what is your dream home? This house. Let's help you get it. And 3 years or 4 years later, uh, assuming the market is good, then let's sell it again. I think that is the only way you can ginger anybody. Why do I say that? Is more than likely you're going to have capital gain, right? Um, so when you see that kind of money, you've been living in that property. I
Mm-hmm.
always say, primary residence, the only risk we are all taking buying our primary residence is acquiring that loan. It is a risk, just like you said.
Yeah.
It is a big risk. But come to think of it, nobody think about it when we are doing it. Why? Because society already make it look normal. So this is what every other person is doing. So it has to be normal. Now, Buying a renter, buying a investment property, to some people is not normal. What is normal to them is to go and get a loan to go to school, get a job, and keep using that money to be paying for the debt,
Yeah.
because everybody else is doing it. So it looks normal. So what I'm trying to point out is we can only keep, pushing out the information, making people realize that, see, this is how the billionaires, the millionaires are doing things. This is how you can get, that passion that you've wanted. We talk about freedom one day on this podcast, and I said freedom to me is different from what freedom means to you, Ibrahim. I have a person that everything he wants in life is to be able to be a soccer coach, right? That person, if only he can use certain years, concentrate on building real estate business, then making sure he build it to a certain point that the cash flow can be enough, then he can pursue the coaching soccer game as much as he want. So coming back to what we are discussing, it's really individual decision. All the most we can do is giving out the education part of it and making sure that they have all this information on their tool belt so that they can make informed decision. But really, a lot of people still have that doubt in them. They don't, like you said, people take on some debt that they don't even see as risk. And when it comes to investing and building something for the future so that they can, you know, uh, uh, live on the low right now. No, live below everyone like right now, and live above average level in the future. When it comes to that, people don't want to talk about it, or everybody's just so too secretive about it. And being secretive is good, but in some cases you just need to open up, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know. I always tell people what you don't know, except you make effort, which is part of it, is talk to people that can actually enlighten you on best way to approach your personal situation. What you don't know, you don't know. So another major thing is doubt. Another one is commitment. People want something that brings in money today. And when I said money, they don't want $300, $500. That is not what they want. They want thousands by putting little effort. It doesn't work that way. This is delay gratification. It starts slow, but as it goes, if it compile up, it ramp up, your loan gets paid down, now you have more equity. You see how that wealth is being built into equity. The cash flow now increase. Now you might start with 500 cash flow, and within 10 years that 500 cash flow might be 2 3,000. It is possible, because you and I know I used to live in one bedroom apartments where I pay $450 a month. On average, depending on the area, if you are looking for some good school area and some, good area in Indianapolis today, on average, one bedroom is close to $1,000. So let's say I invested on one bedroom back in like that 8 10 years ago, and I'm making cash flow of $50. That means right now my cash flow will be, because now I already paid down the loan. Now my cash flow will be around 500 and or more. That is how real estate works. So it's not going to be something that will happen just right away, but it is a delayed gratification. As time goes on, the money will increase, your equity in the house will increase, things will started looking like you want it, but it's not going to look exactly like you. It might be, don't call me on that. It might be at first, but not always, right? So, and commitments, people need to know why they are doing it. Uh, if you don't have a solid why, any business, forget about real estate right now. Any business will throw you off because it's not just like going, clock in, clock out, and you get paid. It doesn't work that way. You have to be strategic. You have to study your competition. You have to put in extra. Now, nobody's thinking for you. At your clock in, clock out, they are thinking for you. They are telling you what to do. Here, you will be the the driver. You are driving the business. So you will be the one thinking all the time. Even when you're sleeping, you are thinking. It happens to me. I know it happens to you, Ibrahim. So there's no way as a business person you will not be like, oh, what can I do next? What is my next move? That will
You'll be, you'll be
constantly be
brainstorming.
on, yeah,
Brainstorming.
constantly be on your mind. What is my next move? What is my next move? So it's really boils down to having a strong why. You need to know why you are doing it because that will be the what will keep you motivated at all time. And I cannot stress it enough. Get yourself accountability partner. Get yourself a friend that thinks the way you think. Get yourself someone in your close circle that when you are slacking, that person can give you a pat on the back like, bro, you've come this far, you're not going to give up right now. Let's keep going. You need someone to keep. Everybody get tired at some point, but your circle will determine if you quit or you keep going. Your circle will determine if you fail, if you're going to start again, or that will be the end. And your circle will determine if you will stay positive. When I see Ibrahim collecting check, I know I want that check too. Now that what does that mean to me? That means I need to double down. I need to do more. I need to put in the effort. I need to keep rolling. I can't quit, right? Because I have someone that I'm looking at that I'm using like, oh, this bro get paid today. I need to do more to get paid too. I need to do this. I need to. But if you don't have that kind of people around you, unfortunately, 9 out of 10 you're gonna stop at some point because it's gonna get to a point that everything you are saying, nobody around you will understand anymore. And you need someone that can actually understand and keep you going. So 2024, if I'm not saying kick all your old friends out, what I'm saying is get someone close to you enough that when you want to slack on it, he or she will be the one to pump you up, like clap for you. Hey bro, you've come this far, you can't give up right now, you need to keep going, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? So that is very, very important. And lastly, there's no amount of books, podcasts, anything we can say on here that you are listening to that will justify or that will give you the results you want. You need to actually go out there and practice. Go out there and execute. Go out there and ask questions. Go out there and just do it. Just do it. The way the rate at which the kids learn is so amazing. You know why? Because they have no fear. They have nothing to lose. So they just go for whatever they want, and 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, they always get what they want. So if you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to go into real estate investing, you have to have that kind of mindset too. Your fear needs to reduce. If you want something in real estate, just go for it. The worst case scenario is maybe you're gonna under budget, you pay more. Maybe you're gonna run into, okay, you fix this, it got broken, you need to take it out, fix it again. That is fine. Those are things that you need to go through to actually get to the top that you are going through. You cannot just go from level 0 to level 100. There's 2 to 99. Those 2 to 99 in between 1 and 100, it is a must for everybody. So my experience is going to be different from Ibrahim. Ibrahim is going to be different from mine. It's going to be different from everybody else. So guys, you just need to start. Before we go, Ibrahim, do you have any addition?
Yeah, I mean, you've said it all. I just want to add to it and say, so just, you know, you know what you are trying to achieve. You know how you can get there. I think the whole thing is to be um, try to focus on your goal. Do not get distracted just because of the way things are around you, just because the way the community you are living, the status, everything. Try to live below your means. That way you can save money and you can use that money and put it into investment. Um, it comes back to time, dedication, money, passion, and your energy. That motivation that keeps driving you every day and day, so you can attain that goal that you are aspiring to achieve with you and your family. So you can do it. All you have to do is never give up. Go out there, give it a try, and do, do not hesitate to ask questions. Because you definitely gonna run into some stuff that will be kind of challenging, and you need people that have experienced it before, or they have idea of what is how you can solve that problem. You need to connect with them and ask that question, and hopefully things will, with real estate is very forgiving. I want to mention this: real estate is very forgiving. My point is, if you are doing real estate and let's say you are not the best negotiator, you are not the best mathematician, and you don't know how to calculate math, I mean the revenue and everything, as long as you are steady, you are consistent, and you are very resilient, and you keep doing real estate, you keep buying and buying and buying, one day when you think back or try to or review all what you have done, you will realize that it will still fall back to profit. This is what I mean by that. You're gonna have equity for those years. If it's 10 years, 5 years, you have equity. Um, let's say your cash flow should have been 300, but because you don't know how to do your math, you're only getting $200. Okay. Um, However, your mortgage is paid, everything is paid, you are still gonna be okay, because when you do it for those years, the rent will go up, your debt will go down, your equity will go up. Now you're gonna be cash flowing more, even though from the beginning you weren't doing your math right. You start with $200. The next 2 3 years, you probably meet someone that will tell you that, oh, you should be getting more on this property. That's why you see some property, they will tell you the manager increased the rent for like 150 or $200 or $300, because that manager realizes that the owner of the property has been slacking, and that person is trying to get the person the utmost cash flow as much as possible. So my point is, do not be afraid of the beginning, that okay, don't worry, you get it right. And with real estate, the house is solid, it is tangible, the property will be there, you will cash flow one day. Like, things will get better. That's my point. Because the debt is going down, your equity is going up, your rent is going up. By the time you look at all that, you have tax benefit, you have all that. It is going to be a win-win at the end of the day. Just be patient, be resilient, be dedicated, and keep striving. I mean, that's all I have to say tonight.
Absolutely. Those are very powerful.
Thank you.
It even if you that is if even if you make mistake, real estate is going to catch up to it, and at the end of the day, you're going to look like a genius to your
Yeah.
peers.
Yeah.
People will see you like a genius, like, oh, do you see this coming? How do you buy it? How do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't what they don't realize is
You
when you
make
are making
mistakes.
those decisions, you even make errors.
Yeah. I said that for a reason, because I can tell you, I believe I've made mistake before. For, like, our rent, maybe rent's supposed to be 900. I made it 800 or 750. And but even if I want to do all the math and go back to those years until now, I'm still winning, because the equity is just so enormous. Like, it just keep growing. The house is just, the value keeps going up, the rent keep going up. I might not be getting the exact, I mean, some, if I if somebody else is managing the property, maybe they'll get $50 more, but does that $50 affect me right now? No. I mean, I want to get the best I can, but my point is that no matter the situation, as long as you stay with real estate will take care of you.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
yep, I think our audience already catch the message.
Yeah.
It's very, very crucial that we just go for the goal. That is it. There's no amount of talk we can, start talking from today to tomorrow that will change anything if you don't take any action. So the best way to do anything is to start. Forget about how you're gonna do it. How is this gonna work? Once you start, you find yourself in that situation. Human beings are built to survive in any situation. We are built to adapt. So once you find yourself in that situation, tough corner, I'm a testimony to that. I've put myself in so many tough situations and I come out of it winning. So once you get started, how is going to come, how is going to follow. But don't get stuck in how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that, and if I don't know the step from A to Z, I'm not going to start. Don't get stuck in that. I believe we have reached the top of the hour. We don't have any question.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining. We do appreciate support.
Thank you.
Please, we hope to see you next week. Before then, be safe and God bless you.
God bless you.